Hey, silent warrior. Yes, you, the one who radiates a smile in the daylight but grapples with unseen battles when night falls. The one fighting demons no one else can see. You've carried the weight of resilience for so long that your own mind now feels like the enemy. Life throws two kinds of battles at us, one against the external world, with its challenges and chaos, and another within the quiet confines of our own minds. The hard truth is that the inner battle is often the most brutal. External events may spark pain, but it's your thoughts that keep that pain burning, like a fire you can't extinguish. You can sit in a calm room, free of enemies or danger, and still be gripped by fear, regret, anger, or shame. Why? Because the real battlefield is in your head. There are days when everything seems fine on the outside, your job is stable, your surroundings peaceful, but your mind wages war, attacking you with relentless thoughts. A single negative thought, like I'm not good enough, I always screw things up, or they don't really care about me, starts small, like a spark. But if you don't take control, it spreads like wildfire, consuming your sense of self. This is where Stoicism becomes your greatest weapon. Ancient Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca lived through brutal times, wars, exile, betrayal, and loss. Yet they uncovered a truth most modern people overlook: you cannot control the world around you, but you can always master how you respond to it. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Let that sink in deeply. You don't need wealth, perfection, or control over every circumstance. You just need to learn to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. You are not your negative thoughts, you are their observer. And as the observer, you hold the power to decide how long they linger. This video isn't for those chasing a 5-minute feel-good fix. It's for the warrior ready to break free from the crushing weight of their own mind, tired of the voice whispering, "You're not enough." In the 7 chapters ahead, we'll break down the most insidious mental traps fueling your negative thoughts and reveal how Stoic philosophy equips you with precise tools to dismantle them. Don't just watch this, study it. If you crave peace, clarity, and inner strength, don't skip a single part. Each section builds on the one before. Before we dive in, drop this affirmation in the comments: I am stronger than my negative thoughts. Like this video, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe if you're serious about inner growth. Now, let's slay those negative thoughts, one Stoic truth at a time. 1. You are not your thoughts. Let's start with a foundational truth that might feel strange at first: you are not your thoughts. We've been conditioned to believe that every thought passing through our minds defines who we are, as if each fleeting idea is a piece of our identity. But pause for a moment and consider this: how many random, scary, painful, or outright bizarre thoughts cross your mind in a single day? Thoughts like "I'm a failure," "I'm unlovable," or worst-case scenarios that never materialize. If every one of those thoughts was truly you, your identity would shift constantly, like a ship tossed in a storm. Stoicism offers a profound yet simple insight: your mind operates in 2 parts. There's what arises, automatic thoughts, often beyond your control, and there's how you choose to respond to them. Negative thoughts will come, that's part of being human. What matters is what you do with them. Epictetus put it powerfully: it's not events themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. A thought like "I failed" or "I'm not good enough" only becomes suffering if you buy into it, if you let it take root. Otherwise, it's just noise, like a distant radio signal you can tune out. Picture a dark cloud on the horizon. You don't run screaming just because it might rain, you observe it, prepare if needed, and move on. That's how you must treat negative thoughts: notice them, detach from them, let them pass. The danger lies in letting a thought define you. A moment of anxiety becomes "I'm an anxious person." A doubt about a friendship becomes "they don't value me." This is a trap. Thoughts are not facts, they're suggestions, not commands. Think of your mind as a radio station. A sad or angry song might play, but you don't have to dance to it, you can change the channel. The Stoics used a practical exercise to combat this. Write down a troubling thought on paper and question it like a judge in a courtroom. Ask yourself, is this thought 100% true? What's the evidence? What would Marcus Aurelius say about this? Will this matter in 5 years? More often than not, you'll find the thought's weight was an illusion, heavy only because it was charged with emotion. Another powerful tool: label your thoughts instead of owning them. Instead of saying, "I'm a failure," say, "I'm having a thought about failure." This creates a mental gap, a space where you reclaim control. For example, if you think, "I messed up that presentation," label it, "I'm noticing a thought about messing up." Suddenly, it's not you, it's just a passing cloud. You are not your thoughts. You are the vast sky, and thoughts are merely clouds drifting through. 2. Stop fighting reality. One of the deepest roots of negative thinking is resisting what's already real. You don't suffer just because something painful happens, a breakup, a betrayal, a missed opportunity. You suffer because your mind keeps insisting, "This shouldn't have happened." This resistance turns a moment of pain into prolonged mental torment. The Stoics taught a transformative lesson: pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Suffering begins when you argue with reality, when you refuse to accept what has already occurred. Epictetus captured this perfectly: do not seek to have events happen as you want them to, but instead want them to happen as they do, and your life will go well. This doesn't mean you should celebrate hardship or pretend everything's fine. It means stopping the futile struggle to undo the past or rewrite what's already true. If something happened, it's real. Accept it, then decide what to do next. Imagine standing in a rainstorm. You can scream, cry, or curse the sky, but you'll still be wet. Or you can accept the rain, grab an umbrella, and keep moving forward. Which do you choose? Many negative thoughts stem from wishing the past were different. Why did they leave me? Why did I make that mistake? If only I'd taken that chance. These thoughts don't change what happened, they only keep the pain alive, like picking at a wound. The Stoics practiced a more fatty, the love of fate, which means embracing what is, even when it hurts, because you cannot control the event, only your response to it. Take a concrete example: you fail an exam or your business venture collapses. A negative mind spirals: "I'm worthless. I'll never succeed." A Stoic mind reframes it: "This is a moment, not my entire story. What can I learn from this? How can I grow?" Instead of fighting reality, use it as a teacher. Here's a practical tool: when your mind says, "This shouldn't have happened," catch that thought and say out loud, "But it did. So what now?" This simple phrase flips the switch, shifting you from a powerless victim to an empowered creator of your next steps. For instance, if a friend betrays you, instead of dwelling on "Why did they do this?" say, "They did it. Now, how do I move forward?" Peace doesn't come from a perfect life, it comes from accepting what is and choosing to act with purpose. Drop this affirmation in the comments: I accept reality and grow from it. 3. Don't trust your first emotion. One of the most common mistakes is treating your first emotion as the ultimate truth. Stoicism teaches a critical skill: your initial feeling is not your final wisdom. Emotions like anger, fear, jealousy, or sadness are reactions, often loud, messy, and irrational. If you act on every first emotion, your life becomes a roller coaster of impulsive decisions and regrets. Think of emotions as ocean waves: the first one crashes hard, but it always recedes if you wait. By pausing, reflecting, and observing instead of reacting, you gain control. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor under constant pressure from war and politics, wrote, "The first rule is to keep an untroubled spirit. The second is to look things in the face and know them for what they are." Picture that: a world leader reminding himself to stay calm and see beyond the surface of his emotions. Consider this scenario: a colleague snaps at you during a meeting. Your first emotion might be anger or hurt, telling you, they disrespect me. But if you wait a few hours, you might learn they were stressed about a personal issue, and their tone had nothing to do with you. Acting on that first emotion, say, by snapping back, could escalate a misunderstanding and damage your relationship. Here's a Stoic practice: when a strong emotion hits, pause, name it, and delay your response. Say to yourself, I'm feeling angry, but that doesn't mean I'm right. Or, I'm feeling insecure, but that doesn't mean I'm unworthy. Emotions are signals, not commands. Another Stoic technique is the view from above. Mentally zoom out and imagine looking at your life from the perspective of the stars. That argument, that moment of embarrassment, or that rejection suddenly feels small in the grand scheme of your existence. This perspective dissolves unnecessary pain. Try this simple phrase: I'll wait before I act. These 5 words can save friendships, careers, and your inner peace. For example, if you feel jealous because a friend got a promotion, pause and ask, is this jealousy telling me the truth, or is it just a reaction? You might realize their success doesn't diminish you. You're not weak for feeling emotions, you're wise when you refuse to let them dictate your actions. Drop this affirmation in the comments: I pause, I choose, I don't react blindly. 4. The stories you tell yourself create your pain. Most of the time, it's not the event itself that breaks you, it's the narrative you weave around it. You get rejected, and your mind spins a story: I'll always be alone. No one values me. You make a mistake at work, and the story becomes, I'm incompetent. I'll never get it right. This is the trap, mistaking raw facts for your interpretations. Marcus Aurelius wrote, if you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Let that sink in. It's not the rejection, the silence, or the failure that hurts most, it's the meaning you assign to it, often rooted in fear, insecurity, or past wounds. Your boss gives you a curt email, and you think, they hate me. A friend cancels plans, and you assume, I'm not important to them. But what if those stories are wrong? What if they're just projections of your inner doubts? Here's a Stoic tool to break this cycle: separate the event from the story. Step 1. Write down the raw fact, stripped of emotion. My friend canceled our plans. Step 2. Write the story your mind is telling. They don't care about me. They're avoiding me. Step 3. Challenge that story like a detective. Ask, is this absolutely true? Could there be another explanation? Have I ever canceled plans for reasons unrelated to the person? Often, this exercise reveals that your story is built on shaky assumptions. Maybe your friend was overwhelmed or had an emergency. The Stoic mindset is clear: events don't define you, you define their meaning. You have the power to shape your emotional reality. Your mind is a storyteller, but you're the editor with the red pen. Don't let false narratives go to print. For example, if you didn't get a job you applied for, your mind might say, I'm not good enough. Pause and rewrite, this job wasn't the right fit, but I'm still capable and learning. The next time your thoughts spiral, stop, investigate, and rewrite the story. You're not the pain, you're the author crafting the next chapter. Drop this affirmation in the comments: I control my story and choose peace over panic. 5. Your environment feeds your inner voice. Let's get brutally honest, your environment shapes your mind. Negative thinking isn't something you're born with, it's cultivated by the world around you. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, the habits you repeat, they all feed the voice inside your head. If you're surrounded by chaos, drama, or negativity, your mind will reflect that turmoil. Seneca, one of the wisest Stoics, advised, associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. This wasn't just about choosing good friends, it was about mental hygiene. Your mind is like a garden, who and what are planting seeds in it. Negative people, those who complain, gossip, or belittle others, rub off on you, subtly training your brain to mimic their mindset. Toxic social media, filled with content that triggers envy, anger, or inadequacy, conditions your mind to dwell on low-vibration thoughts. A cluttered environment, a messy room, a chaotic desk, a noisy home, amplifies stress and clouds your clarity. The Stoics valued simplicity and order because they knew external chaos breeds internal disorder. You can't silence negative thoughts if you're feeding them every day with a toxic environment. Start an environment detox. Ask yourself, who drains my energy, and who uplifts me? What content am I consuming? Does it inspire or depress me? Is my physical space helping me think clearly or adding to my stress? The Stoics weren't just philosophers, they lived with discipline, maintaining tidy spaces, simple routines, and meaningful conversations to foster inner stillness. Try this challenge. For 7 days, avoid gossip, drama, and toxic scrolling on social media. Clean your room, declutter your desk, unfollow accounts that fuel comparison or insecurity. Spend time with people who genuinely want to grow, who challenge you to be better. You'll be amazed at how much quieter your mind becomes, not because negative thoughts vanish entirely, but because you've stopped pouring fuel on the fire. Drop this affirmation in the comments: I cleanse my environment to clear my mind. 6. You're exhausted, not broken. Sometimes, your negative thoughts don't mean there's something wrong with you, they mean you're exhausted. Not just physically tired, but mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually drained. When you're running on empty, everything feels heavier than it is. A neutral text becomes proof of rejection. A small decision feels overwhelming. You assume others are against you. Your mind turns into a storm, not because you're weak, but because your reserves are depleted. The Stoics understood the importance of managing energy, not just mindset. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." But how can you revoke that pain if you haven't slept, if you're overwhelmed by stress, or if you haven't given yourself a moment to breathe? Negative thoughts grow louder when you're sleep-deprived, eating poorly, sedentary, or overexposed to noise, social media, and external pressures. Stoicism isn't about being an emotionless machine, it's about rationally caring for your energy. Epictetus reminded his students, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. An exhausted, overloaded mind can't learn, grow, or think clearly. Give yourself the gift of recovery. Go to bed early tonight, take a 20-minute walk without your phone, say no to one draining obligation, write down your worries and set them aside for a while. You're not broken, you're just overrun. Exhaustion isn't a sign of weakness, it's a signal to recharge. Often, negative thoughts fade not because you fought them head-on, but because you restored your strength. For example, after a good night's sleep or a quiet walk, that overwhelming fear of failure might shrink to a manageable challenge. Drop this affirmation in the comments: I'm not broken, I'm restoring. 7. Gratitude destroys negativity. Gratitude isn't just positive thinking, it's a powerful weapon that cuts through the roots of negative thought. Why? Because it forces you to focus on what's real and present, not just what's missing or wrong. When your mind is trapped in negativity, nothing's working out, everyone's ahead of me, life's unfair, gratitude breaks that narrow tunnel vision. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Negative thinking thrives on a sense of lack, a belief that you're missing something essential. Gratitude flips the script, reminding you of the abundance already in your life. This isn't about ignoring problems or plastering on a fake smile. It's about balancing your perspective to see the full picture. In your darkest moments, ask yourself, what am I taking for granted right now? What do I have today that I once wished for? Who's still standing by me? Write down one sentence, it's enough to shift your lens. Struggling in your career? Maybe you're still healthy, safe, or learning new skills. Facing a rocky relationship? Perhaps you're discovering your own strength, boundaries, and self-worth. Gratitude isn't pretending everything's okay, it's looking life in the eye and saying, yes, this hurts, but I still see what's here. Negative thinking grows when you forget your blessings, your past wins, your moments of resilience. Make gratitude a daily ritual. Every morning or night, jot down 3 things you're thankful for. It could be a deep breath, a warm meal, a kind word, a memory, or a small victory. You'll notice the weight in your chest lighten, the fog in your mind clear. Gratitude anchors you against the storm, grounding you in what's real. For example, if you're overwhelmed by financial stress, write, "I'm grateful for the food on my table, the friend who checked in, and the chance to keep trying." These anchors keep you from drowning in negativity. Drop this affirmation in the comments: I choose gratitude to conquer negativity. If you've made it this far, know this: you've already begun dismantling negative thinking because awareness is the first strike. Stoicism doesn't promise a life free of negative thoughts. That's not realistic. The Stoics didn't aim for perfection, they aimed for consistent practice. You've learned you're not your thoughts, you're the observer who decides their fate. You don't have to fight reality, accept it and grow stronger. Your first emotion isn't the truth. Pause, reflect, choose. The stories in your head are just stories, rewrite them with intention. Your environment matters, clean it to clear your mind. Exhaustion doesn't mean you're broken, rest restores you. And above all, gratitude is your shield against the darkness. Marcus Aurelius faced loss, betrayal, and stress most of us can't imagine, yet he wrote daily to train his mind toward peace. So train yours, quietly, steadily. You don't need to be loud or explain yourself to anyone, just keep showing up for your own mind, and your life will transform. You're doing better than you think, not because everything's perfect, but because you're aware. And from awareness, everything can change. This is how you kill negative thinking, not with brute force, but with clarity, inner silence, and stoic power. If this video helped you, like it to help others find it. Comment your favorite point or quote. Share it with someone who needs peace. And subscribe, we're building a stoic mind together. Final affirmation for the comments: my mind is my greatest strength.